Hey y'all, how's everyone doing? All right, I see the notifications are out. People are starting to show up. So, how is everyone doing today? I'm just going to give it a few more seconds and then we can get right into it. Hey, Miss B. Miss B, I was bored as hell too. And y'all almost didn't get a live because I was scrolling on TV and Martin is on BET. So I was about to lay back and watch Martin, but I said, no, I'm going to go live and kick it with my bitches. Hey, Roxy. Hey, December, baby. Hey, AB. Hey, Sarkonos. Hey, daughter. All right, hold on. Let me pull this phone a little closer so I can see the chat. All right. So, the first thing I want to talk about, guys, is because I haven't talked to y'all in a little while. So, the first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the court date. Hey, Hot Air. Hey, Mika, baby. So, as everybody knows, the court date happened. We also know that Five Babe did not show up in court, and some people they just had such an issue with it they could not take it. They didn't understand why she didn't show up in court, and I'm glad it. I didn't come live like directly after all that stuff happened. I do like to sometimes sit back and think about things before I make a statement on them, and I've been thinking about it for the past couple of days, and these are just my opinions. I don't know anything more than y'all know, anything more than either one of them has put out on YouTube. But from my opinion, it seems like maybe, probably, her lawyer told her that she didn't have to come because they knew it was going to end up in a continuance. If y'all understand what I'm saying. If the lawyer knew it was going to end up in a continuance and Fi lives out of town, then that would be what, 2 or 3 trips that she would have to take to Baltimore, depending on what the I guess the state, because it's not technically Rita against him, it's the state. So depending on the evidence and how much time the state needed or how much time her lawyer would need it, I figured that that was probably the reason, would be because they knew it was going to be a continuance. And if that's the case, then that makes sense to me. Why would you catch a flight and book a room and do all that stuff only to be in court for 5 minutes to be told that you're going to have to come back in May anyway? So, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to y'all. Let me see what y'all are saying. Faith Driven One says you are the first one to make sense out of her not appearing. You know what, Faith Driven One? I was sitting over here like fucking racking my brain, like, well, why would her lawyer tell her not to appear? And then I'm hearing, okay, well, the continuance is scheduled in May. And so I'm like, well, oh, okay, that's why. Because definitely they were going to have a continuance because we saw what happened in the Sean Bradley trial. Even though they've all submitted their evidence, the lawyers are going to ask for a continuance because there's so much evidence and they need time to go through all of those videos. That's just my reasoning and my way of thinking. Like I said, I don't know anything. These are just hypotheses that I'm throwing out there. And for you stupid bitches that don't know, a hypothesis is an educated guess. Okay? So, yeah. All right. So moving on, Miss B says it doesn't make sense to people who have actually been to court. Well, see, Miss B, that's another thing. Like I tell y'all all the time, I've never actually been to court. I've never dealt with anybody on a personal level that had been to court in any type of criminal proceedings or anything. Like nothing. Like the most we've ever been to court for is like speeding tickets and shit. And the one time I went to court for a speeding ticket, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. They were calling people's names and stuff, and I guess you were supposed to stand up and say guilty or not guilty. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. So when they called my name, I didn't say anything. I grabbed my pocketbook and walked the fuck up out of there and just paid the goddamn ticket online. No, this was before online. I got a goddamn money order and just sent the ticket, sent that shit in because I didn't understand what the hell was even going on in court. Like, bitch, what you mean guilty, not guilty? I thought I was here for y'all to tell me how much I owe. I'm not saying guilty in this motherfucker, even though I was speeding. So that's my one and only court experience. And hopefully it will stay that way. And of course, real adults have to go to the courthouse to get, marriage licenses and, to change your name. And, when you pay your house off, you have to go down to the courthouse to get your title and your deed and stuff like that. Like, I've been down to the courthouse for stuff like that. Not all this other crazy, nefarious shit that these YouTube people love to pull on each other. And with saying that, Rita, the day that court happened, had the nerve to come on here and like try to play like she almost had like a little bit of bad feeling for doing what she's doing. Like, bitch, you don't feel bad for this shit. If you did, you would have dropped the fucking charges. Hey, Summer Breeze. Daughter here said, I've been to criminal court. Rita want to make it look like it was something else. I don't know. Well, I think Rita knows that, like, even though there are a lot of people who are familiar with that process, she knows that a lot of us aren't. So she can come out here and say shit and people are going to believe it because they're not familiar with the process. So we're going to stick with Rita. Did y'all see that quote unquote skit that she did the other day? Did y'all see that shit? And see, Daughter here just said it. Daughter here said most likely the first court dates normally get postponed. Exactly. And that's my thinking on why Fi didn't even bother to fucking show up. Because she saw what had happened with Sean Bradley and Mama Sippin and Daughter. Yo, that skit was so fucking trash. Y'all know I don't like Rita. I don't fuck with that bitch. But I genuinely felt bad for her in that moment because she really thought she was over there doing it. She really did. And also in that moment, I'm looking at her and I'm like, that bitch is on drugs. I'm not saying she's on Percocets, but she's on something. You would have to be in order to act like that and think that it is appeasing and entertaining and funny. But I can't even really put all the blame on Rita because if y'all was watching her chat, it was about 20 or 30 solid bitches in there with slingshots just shooting fucking Duracells right up her fucking pussy. Like, fuck a battery in the back. They was shooting Duracells up her pussy with slingshots. Like, they was really gassing that bitch up. And it took everything in me in the first 5 minutes not to just start blocking all of those bitches in the chat because I can't stand a motherfucker who is just woefully and visibly what do you call the shit? Where people not an intimidator. What is the word that I'm looking for? Enable. Like, just willfully enabling that bullshit over there. So I was about to start blocking them bitches, but I didn't. Because once again, I had to sit back and think before I acted. And, we need those bitches. She needs those bitches. Without them, who would be there to slingshot those Duracells up her pussy? To give us such content that we can talk about and drag her on. Hey, Real Master. Hey, Heavy Bear. So I was going to block the enablers, but I let them ride. I let them be because they are doing exactly what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. We need people like them to keep this beef sector shit going around. It was just very interesting to see how many of them literally sat there and was patting that bitch on her back and her ass, telling her that that skit was so funny and like they haven't laughed so hard all day. What the fuck y'all bitches been watching over here in the beef sector where that shit was your hardest laugh of the day? Like my subscriptions are open. I would suggest you go over to my subscriptions tab and just start scrolling and subscribing to a bunch of motherfuckers if that was the funniest shit you had seen. But I digress. Oh, Sarkonos said, I hope one of them Duracells has some feminine hygiene products attached. Sarkonos, when I imagine the Duracells that they slingshot up her box, I'm imagining the ones that have been like in remote controls for 30 years. You open that shit up and they're all fucking corroded and got all that like white shit all over them. Them is the ones they was firing at that bitch nonstop. Not a new pretty Duracell. Oh no. One of them old raggedy ones. One of them ones you see squished in the middle of the street because it's been ran over a couple of times. You know what, Rico the Brat? She may not have you blocked. If you click the little three buttons somewhere and you go to live chat, maybe you'll be able to see her then. It definitely was a dope fiend skit. That shit was giving all the dope and all the fiend. All the dope and all the fiend. But I'm gonna tell you what, I did laugh because me and my bitches was on text messages dragging the skin off of that bitch. So even though the shit was tragic and it was very cringy and it was very embarrassing for her and to watch her, we did have a good giggle on your time, bitch. Oh yes, we did. We got some good old drags down the text message line behind that shit. So I will give you a thanks for that. Moving on. The next thing I want to talk about is Five Babe and her plumber. So I'm sure everybody saw the shenanigans that happened when Five Babe's sink got clogged and she needed to call in emergency plumber. Side note, y'all know them emergency 24-hour plumber fees. Them motherfuckers are astronomical past 10 p.m. I'm just saying. But that situation made people lose their fucking minds. It was tons of commentary behind it. And at the end of the day, it was just Five Babe doing strategic commentary. She knew that you bitches weren't going to be able to handle it. That's why she did it. She knew he was going to be comfortable in front of the camera and he wouldn't mind. So it was just a little piece of strategic commentary. Y'all bitches keep Babe Nation trending. You keep letting her do these things to you. And it's just so hilarious. Like there was absolutely nothing wrong with the interaction that Five Babe and her company had that night. And I'm hearing all these niggas losing their fucking minds because the dude smoked a little weed in the apartment. Like they ain't never smoked no weed as a child. Get the fuck out of here. Like we don't have active mothers on YouTube who we see, who they like, smoking weed in their houses with their children. Like get the fuck out of here. It be the pot's calling the kettle's black for me. If you're going to call it out on one, call it out on all. That's all I'm saying. But in reality, they know that there was nothing wrong with that interaction. It was very cute to see, actually. And they ought to be thanking the bitch for letting us in on her real life because it will never be me. You bitches don't know how to fucking act. It will never be me. Y'all will never hear or see anything over here on this page other than me or my voice. That's it. And it sucks because, you know, a lot of us do want to let people into our real lives. But like I said, you bitches don't know how to act. So you don't deserve being let in my opinion. But whatever. All right, let me scroll and see what else I saw on here that is worth mentioning. Tasha K, the trial. I think the closing arguments are coming soon. Right before I came on here, I saw Troy Allen did a video. Y'all know Troy Allen has been covering the Tasha K trial. Well, he was at the airport. He is on his way to Atlanta to be in the courtroom for closing arguments. So I'm excited to see his live for that because he will be getting firsthand knowledge. Hey, Jim the Goddess. He will be getting firsthand knowledge of the situation. He will be in the Atlanta courtroom. So hopefully everybody will go over to Troy Allen's page and give him a click and a view because the nigga is going above and beyond. Let me see what else. Tim Blaine and Food Junkie got into it. I watched about half of Tim Blaine's video, then I got distracted. I went over to see what Food Junkie was saying. I could not get into that shit as per usual, so I don't know what the fuck his rebuttal was. I can never get into that shit. I try. I'm subscribed to you, nigga, and I try. I do try, but you just make it very hard. You make it very fucking hard. Miss B say Troy late as fuck. I've been other places keeping up. Yes, Miss B, I've been other places also. But I did want to mention that. Because I'm not sure if the other places that I've been to, I haven't heard them saying that they were going to actually be in the courthouse for closing arguments. Now, I do know that I did hear there were about 4 or 5 bloggers over here who were actively in the courthouse on a daily basis and giving information. I think I subscribed to one of them. I can't remember her name, but I just thought it was very interesting that he was going out there for that. Especially when I looked at his views on his coverage, and I mean he's not getting that many views. I mean he's getting decent views, but it ain't like he's getting 14K and 23K views a video. So I just thought it was interesting. I wonder if because technically YouTube is a business and you can write shit off. I wonder if he can write that off on his taxes as a business expense. I don't know. My YouTube channel is very small, so my taxes it's literally like a little blip. So I don't have to do all that writing shit off. I did just get a new phone though, and I'm wondering if I can write this new phone off as a business expense because YouTube killed my last fucking phone, and YouTube is the reason why I need to get a new phone. So I'm gonna have to figure that out. I do my own taxes, so it ain't like I can call nobody. Let me keep reading. Sweet Vibes said that's a long drive for him. Sweet Vibes, he said he was flying. He was at the airport. Hey, Denise. Miss B said he should have went day one. Well, he would have been down there for what shit 2 or 3 weeks because it's been a 2 or 3 weeks type of thing, and I think he has a job, so I don't think he was able to do a day one thing. If I'm not mistaken, the ones who have been in the courtroom for day one, they are people who live in the Atlanta area. Other than that, I can't really see it being worth the money. And it's snowing down there and shit, so yeah. All right. Let me keep scrolling. I just read through y'all's comments. Oh, did y'all see Jay Wilson's video yesterday where Rico and James and who else was that? King Roman. Well, Rico and James got into it. But they got into it. It was an ongoing thing, but they were able to actually have a conversation in the midst of the beef, and it was a pretty good video. I know some of y'all don't like Jay Wilson. Some of y'all think he's a fuck nigga, but for the most part, y'all probably want to go and watch that video if you haven't already. It was pretty good. No, Sharona, we did not get any snow. We had ice rain. So when I woke up this morning, it was complete. It was ice everywhere, and I'm in Myrtle Beach, so that is very uncommon. It was literally fucking 70 degrees yesterday. The day before. The day before yesterday, it was 70 degrees outside. So it was, 28 degrees out and it was raining. So we had ice, but we didn't get any snow. I'm not complaining because y'all know we moved down here from fucking Massachusetts where it snows like 6 feet at a time. Excuse me, guys. So what was I saying before that? Oh, I was talking about Tim Blaine and the Food Junkie, and then I started talking about Rico and James. Um, it was a very good live. They did get a lot of things discussed in that live. I feel like James was being a little extra spicy with King Roman because y'all know King Roman and Rico are friends. They have actually met up in real life before. And King Roman, I don't want to say he was taking up for Rico, but he was declining to look down his nose. He was declining to drag Rico. And y'all know sometimes James has a spirit of if you don't do what he wants you to do, if you don't fight how he wants you to fight, he's going to make little snide comments about it. And we know that's true because we saw the situation with Dimples and Kwani. And I think it's another situation, a smaller type of situation, but the same type of thing going on with James and King Roman. Now they didn't fight, but there were a little uncomfortable moments between the two as far as I'm concerned. I felt a little twinge of uncomfortability in the situation. So I just want y'all to keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that situation. I'm not saying nothing's gonna happen. I'm just saying keep your eye on the shit. Hey, View. Oh, and if y'all haven't already, please consider hitting the like button or the dislike button. Either way, I ain't fucked up about it. And I'm asking nicely, and I'm not gonna badger y'all. All right, moving on. Shona B say King Roman is cute. Yeah, he is cute. He's a cute guy. Hey, Dion. Thanks for stopping in, girl. Onyx said I found the interaction with Jay Wilson, TL and KR interesting. KR, I don't know who them other people is, Onyx Blue. I'm over here smoking a blunt. You're gonna have to make it easy for a bitch like me. TL. I don't know TL. KR. I don't know KR. Oh, King Roman. Oh, Treasure Lane. Okay. I'm like, who the fuck is TL and King R? I think King Roman has potential to be a solid content creator. King Roman has the potential, but the issue is he doesn't have the information. He has the potential. He has the star power. He has the production quality. He just doesn't have the information. He doesn't have the longevity. So for that reason, I see that hindering him a little bit. Because James, one of the little snide marks that he made was something about King Roman. Listen up real close to this since you don't know a lot. That's not verbatim what James said, but it was something like that. Something like, well, since you say that you don't know and you haven't been here, listen real close to this. So, and I do agree with James on that. You know, there are those newer content creators out here who weren't here from the beginning. They kind of came in the middle, but they're making commentary. So, I applaud the effort, but they also have to realize that is a huge hindrance. Specifically because we over here in the beef sector, we like to dwell in the past so much and bring up old shit. But a lot of times when somebody's doing commentary like I am, just kind of talking off the cuff and bringing up old shit, you bring it up in passing. You don't bring it up and you don't discuss the entire situation. So newer people, they're either lost or they could get the wrong idea, or a lot of people tell the story the way they want to tell the story, especially if the story involves them. So all of those factors can really fuck up the commentary of a newer content creator who was out here who wasn't here from the beginning. Hopefully all that makes sense. December Baby said, but King Roman and Rico met in real life, so they probably spoke about things off of YouTube. Yeah, I think they do. But I also do want to say, like, Rico made some good points up there. He told them people, instead of talking shit about me, just pray for me. Rico said he don't want nothing from nobody but prayer, and that's it. So, and I can't argue with that. But Jay Wilson and James, they also had good points too, and they were trying to tell Rico what the deal is, specifically when he's going to be in court for that situation. They told him, because when they talk to him and ask him questions, Rico can be known to fly off the handle and go off into a tangent. And they were telling him, you can't do that in court if you expect to keep your freedom, because judges are pretty much no nonsense these days, and they will not respect that. My advice for Rico would be, when he's in court, to shut the fuck up. And when I say shut up, I mean shut up. Answer yes or no. They technically in court, I believe they have to question you with yes or no questions. Very simple answers. If they ask you what date did it happen, you give them the date. Excuse me, you give them the date and then you shut the fuck up. You don't elaborate. Well, it happened on the February 11th, but see, when on the 11th, it's because he picked me up. No, no, no. That's too much when you start doing all that. When they ask you a question, you give the answer and that's it. Do not elaborate. Elaboration will end your ass up behind bars. So they were telling him stuff like that, trying to put him up on game for the court system. But y'all know Rico is hard headed, and I believe it wasn't the message. It wasn't the message that he wasn't trying to receive. It was the messengers. Because we know that Rico have a problem with Jay Wilson and a problem with James Caldwell. Justifiably so. He has issues with them. So I think maybe if somebody that was more of a friend to him had that same message, he probably would have been more accepting of the information that they were giving. But because it was them and he don't fuck with them and he really ain't trying to hear shit they got to say, not that I can blame him, because if it was me and a bitch I don't fuck with, I don't want to hear shit they got to say either. So with that being said, I understand that, as far as you concerned, it's fuck them two niggas, Rico. But I do hope that you do, before you have to go to court for all this shit, I do hope you go back to that video and actually listen to what the knowledge that they were kicking to you. Even though the knowledge was laced in shade and all that shit, it was true knowledge, and they really were trying to help, I feel. Faith Driven One said, my advice for Rico is to get a public defender. Faith Driven One, are you being funny? Even if you aren't, that's some funny shit. And also, people were really upset with Fi because she got a public defender. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't she get a public defender? This is some stupid YouTube bullshit. Trumped up charges from a confessed pillhead. Like, get the fuck out of here. And the pillhead can't prove none of what the fuck she's saying. So why wouldn't she get a public defender? Why wouldn't mama and daughter get a public defender? But I totally understand why Sean Bradley did not get a public defender. Sean Bradley is, I don't know for sure, but from what I understand and from what I know with people and my family members who have the same kind of job he has, Sean Bradley is a contractor for the government. So his job alone means that he can't fuck around. Fi Babe and mama and daughter are not in that same position with a government contracting job, so they can get away with a public defender, especially dealing with this crackhead bitch. But with Sean Bradley, I do think it was a good idea that he got a real lawyer because of his position in life as far as his career. And it might give him a leg up on countersuing that bitch if it's a possibility. Because technically, she's not suing him, she's putting criminal charges on him. But I believe if or when the charges are dropped, I don't know because I'm not a lawyer. I told y'all I'm a Law and Order SVU criminal case TV lawyer. I believe he may be able to file a lawsuit against her for a harassment or defamation or whatever, and having a actual non-public defender lawyer may give him a leg up on that because he actually is out of money dealing with this bitch. He actually is, and he may actually be able to recover his lost funds. Faith Driven One says, I'm sure she has to pay her public defender. They are not free. See, Faith Driven One, I never knew that. I never knew that it was a possibility you have to pay a public defender. I never even knew that what people are saying that you have to show proof of income and all this kind of stuff to get a public defender. I don't even know if that's fucking true. I don't even know if that's true. I think it's your choice if you want a public defender or not. We've seen fucking rich ass people, like celebrities and shit, who take a public defender because the charges are not that aggressive or egregious or whatever. So I don't know about all that. Like you have to show proof of income to have a public. I don't know about all that. I've never heard that shit before. It's a lot of shit going on with this trial and these YouTube ass lawyers, and they coming up with a bunch of shit I ain't never heard before. But I also do understand that just because I've never heard it doesn't mean it's not true. And I understand that this shit is going on in states where I have never resided. And state law is what is holding precedent here. This is not a federal trial. This is a state trial. And like I said, I've never lived in the DC, DMV area. I've never lived in the Chicago area. So I don't know what their laws are in either. I am Brooks said it's $50 a month for a public defender. That ain't bad. That ain't bad at all. That ain't bad at all. Ms. B said, well, you do have to apply and have to meet requirements. See, I didn't know that, Ms. B. I didn't know that at all. Mimi, hey Mimi. Mimi say in my state, public defender is provided no matter what your income is. If you don't want to pay for a lawyer, one will be afforded to you. They don't check income. See, and I thought that it was like that for all states, but that was just me living in my little fucking bubble. I told y'all sometimes I live in a little bubble, and I have to realize like everything is not as I expect it to be. Hey, Fi. So, December Baby said, but the court will appoint one to you. That's what I thought, December Baby. But, you know, these things that I'm saying are coming off of my knowledge of the Miranda rights, because when they read you your Miranda rights, they tell you if you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you. But I also have knowledge of like 90s court cases with celebrities where they would get like a public intoxication. They weren't driving drunk. They would just be a little too drunk in public, and they would be up there with the public defender. Like I could have swore I saw who was that motherfucker that plays Iron Man? I could have swore when he was going through his cracky and drugged out times in the 90s that I saw his ass up there in the orange jumpsuit with a public defender a time or two, because it was just such a overnight short type of thing. But I don't know. I'm just going on memory. I didn't do any research for this shit. Faith Driven One said, or the PD can ask the court to waive the fees. See, I didn't know that either. Like, I really hate that they fucked up court TV so bad. Court TV really used to be my shit, like in the early aughts, in the early 2000s and stuff, but they fucked it up. And I mean, it's still out there, but it's not the same. And they just play clips. They don't give you really whole trials anymore. The last whole trial that I watched was the What was that girl who killed her boyfriend? That Mormon girl who killed her boyfriend? She looked like Casey Anthony, but it wasn't not Casey Anthony. She looked like, yeah, she looked like Casey Anthony, but it wasn't her. And she went to jail. Oh God, I can't remember her name, but that's the last trial I saw on TV. Excuse me, guys. Bob Abe said they lying when they say the public defender tried to win for the state. And that's what I found also. Like when the people say the public defender works for the state, yes, the public defender does work for the state. But I think, don't they have to take some type of oath to actually that they're working for their client? Like some type of, I don't know, like a lawyer's version of a Hippocratic oath or some shit. And then I heard people saying like public defenders are young and fresh out of college. That's why they work for the state, because it's an easy job for them to get their foot in the door. Well, shit. I like a young and fresh out of college ass lawyer, especially for some stupid shit like this, because they just got done studying all the precedences and they're familiar with internet shit. In a case like this, I would not want no fucking 60-year-old white man lawyer, because he has no idea what's going on with the internets and things. Like, you can send him all your video evidence and clips and fucking screenshots and thumbnails. I don't even know if he would be able to weed through that shit. Like, our family lawyer is a old, like 60, 70-year-old white man. But that's only for, like I said, titles and fucking, what is that shit when you die and your shit goes into probate and all like that kind of stuff. I would never use him for something like this. Hell no. I'm gonna get me a young and hungry shark fresh out of college, because they know the dealio. Especially if I send them all Rita's fucking videos and they could see that bitch in full action, they would definitely know. Liz said there's no money in it unless you're private practice. Well, you know what, Liz? They have to get their foot in the door somewhere. That's what I'm saying. You don't come out of law school and immediately start private practice. I don't think that's how it works. It's just like when you're a doctor, you don't come out of med school and immediately go into private practice. You have to work with the public a little bit, don't you, in order to get your feet wet. So I understand. Well, and also I think a lot of people in their distaste and dislike of public defenders is also maybe what a little bit of my initial distaste and dislike of public defenders was. It's the TV thing. Like I said, y'all, we a bunch of TV ass fucking lawyers out here. And on TV, public defenders are portrayed as incompetent or the bad guy or not totally for their client or overwhelmed with so many cases. That may not be the case in real life. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Five Abe said it doesn't matter who is representing you. The case has to be proven with receipts. Exactly. Exactly. You could be representing your damn self, but if they can't prove the case with receipts, guess what? You win. You win. Mimi said, I would pay for an attorney for a serious case if I was looking at jail time. For a misdemeanor, maybe not. Exactly, Mimi. And this is the epitome of like a not serious fucking case. Because like I said, everybody, even the ops, even the ones that don't like Fi, even the ones that can't fucking stand her, none of them can say that they heard her do or say any of the shit that Rita is alleging. None of these recording ass bitches have any clips of Fi doing or saying any of the shit Rita is alleging. I've never seen Fi Babe hold her hand up in the camera in the shape of a gun, like busting off bullets and talking about, bitch, you next, or I'm pulling up on you, or none of that shit. None of that shit. That is Rita that does that type of shit. That bitch went down there and told on everybody, but used words and situations that she has done to people. That's what that bitch did. Nobody on here, even the ops, even the ones, go ahead, Rita. No party like a possible party. All that shit. He can't even fucking say that he saw Fi Babe do any of the shit Rita alleged she did. So, with that being said, and at this point, because the judge told her that she needs whole videos, at this point, it's over with because you know she doesn't have whole videos. You know she doesn't have whole videos. They barely got clips. They barely got clips. Brooklyn Dior, I don't know if Rita lied under oath because did she have to go under oath? When she was there with Sean Bradley and them, they said she ducked in the court real quick and whispered some hot breath onto her lawyer's neck and ear region and dipped the fuck back out. They didn't put her on the stand. They didn't put her hand on the Bible and make her raise the other one and funk up the goddamn courtroom saying that she would tell the truth. So I don't even know if she lied under oath. When you go in there and you actually file the initial charges, I know they make you sign your name on the bottom line of that paper, but do they make you put your hand on the Bible and swear that you're telling the truth then? And then she said in that paperwork that Fi Babe sent people past her house. Who the fuck did Fi send past her house? Who? When? How? Why? Bitch, ew. Ew. Like that bitch is so much of a non-factor. When you got popped, when your little address got popped, and we saw them pictures of that shared housing that you have over there that you're renting, like that was it and that was all. Nobody was worried about you, bitch. Nobody was coming past that motherfucker fucking with you, bitch. Everybody knows you are a crazy drug addict. Who would be wanting to walk past and knock on the door of a crazy fucking drug addict? Bitch, if I ever see you in real life, Rita, do you know what I'm going to do? Do you know exactly what I'm going to do, bitch? I'm going to cross the street because I don't even want you breathing none of the air or nothing that I'm breathing, bitch. Like people do say they want to fight you and fuck you up, but I think that's just a figure of speech. Because and you know, fighting someone, I don't know if y'all understand, but fighting someone is very intimate. You really have to be up on somebody. You're getting like their fluids on you and vice versa. Bitch, I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. I would literally cross the street if I saw you coming. Ew. Yes, Sarkono, shared housing. That house that they're renting is a double family unit. Like, you know, when people rent their house out, but they split that bitch up off into two and make two apartments out of a shotgun house. That's what the bitches over there residing in. A split off shotgun house. That's what the pictures led me to believe the shit was. It was two front doors on that motherfucking porch. Y'all know what it gives when it's two front doors on a goddamn porch. Don't play with me. And what? Maybe she's been in there for what, like 6 months now? So she got another 6 months. And then, especially if she's on some type of assistance, they're gonna come in there. Well, no, I would think everywhere nowadays would have a inspection after a year. They're gonna come in there and inspect that shit. And if it ain't on the up and up, bitch, you're gonna be moving again. You better hope that shit is on the up and up when inspection time come around. Because I know we do inspection on our tenants 2 times a year. But since our tenants have been in our property for years now, we cut it down to once a year. But you goddamn right, we have inspection every year around that motherfucker. I don't trust these motherfuckers. And we're not even doing no Section 8 rent. We renting to an actual family. But we still have a goddamn inspection once a year to make sure they ain't in there tearing our shit up. As niggas are known to do. Especially when it ain't theirs, when they didn't have to fucking work hard for it. I know the people who had that house that Rita previously was in that she fucking trashed. I know they were so pissed. Since we've been renting our main house out, we've had probably like 5 or 6 different tenants, and like one of the motherfuckers, they were so fucking trash. They trashed our fucking house, and I was so pissed. And I almost didn't want to rent to black people no more. Almost. I was right at the fucking precipice of that shit. Because niggas don't give a fuck when they didn't have to work hard for it, when they didn't have to pay for it, when it's not theirs. And Rita is the epitome of that. Look at that fucking trap truck. Look how they fucking trashed that trap truck. Do you know why? Because they didn't have to work hard for it. They didn't have to pay for it. Somebody else donated the money for that shit. If they actually had to put foot to pavement and sleepless nights and go into work sick and go and worry about your fucking credit, and you're sitting there waiting for the loan, is it going to come through? Is it not? Then they would have taken care of that shit. But because they didn't, they fucking trashed it. Just like every place they live. Just like niggas do. Let's see. Scrolling. Oh, I don't know if I said it already, but if I didn't, Larry Nelson made a video. He came live from the hospital bed, and he said he is doing better. So I was really happy to see that. Because the way Jay Wilson came on here talking, that nigga was talking like Larry was like literally almost out of here like in a couple of hours. Like we had to hold a vigil. So that shit kind of shocked me and made me nervous. But then the next day I see Larry is on here talking and saying that, you know, he was in bad shape, but he's doing better. So thank goodness for that. Bye, babe. Five babe, that nigga did a little prayer over there for Larry, but it was an open-eyed prayer. That nigga, not only did he not close his eyes during the prayer, he did not even fucking blink. He was looking stone cold in the camera for that prayer. And I said, ooh, bitch. Like, I don't know if y'all be peeping the level of shade that Jay Wilson possesses, but it is so not Christian like the level of shade. It's a double-edged sword. It is so fucking Baptist, Southern Baptist like, but it is very unchristianly. Like, I've seen that shade growing up my whole life, all up and through the church. I know that shade very well, which is why it's fucking hilarious to me when he does it. But it's the level of this shit. Like, if you don't know, you wouldn't even catch it. That nigga didn't even blink during the prayer. And you know, me being Southern Baptist, we have our personal little superstitions, especially when you grow up in the church as a child. And I always felt like if you don't close your eyes during the prayer, then it's not going to stick. Like, it's not really going to take if you don't close your eyes during the prayer. Like, if you don't smooth your hair during a relaxer, that bitch ain't going to stick. That type of thing. So, I saw that as shade. Even though Jay Wilson, he may have not have meant it that way. That's just the way it came off to me. All right, I'm scrolling, I'm looking. I don't think there's too much else going on. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, it was some situation with Pizarro and Bree and Trish. I don't know. I couldn't really keep up with that shit because, like I said, when Pizarro came on to discuss it, she kind of talked around the situation. She didn't give us, the chat, a straight rundown on it before she started making commentary. She just started making commentary like we live in her brain and we already knew what had happened. Y'all know I'm not subscribed to Trish, so I wasn't over there. I don't know what the fuck the bitch said. So it was kind of like opening a book and starting from the middle. I was a little confused, and since it wasn't very entertaining, and who gives a fuck what Trish says, I didn't really keep up with that. I saw Brianna made 2 short videos about it also, and she also did the same thing. She didn't really give a straight out explanation on what the fuck the issue was before she started making all these little subliminals and talking shit. So I didn't really understand. I knew it had something to do with Trish putting something in the back chat. And when I heard what was put in the back chat, it was stupid. So it was a real non event. It was a real non event. Scrolling. I'm so hungry, y'all. What are y'all going to eat today? I have a breakfast burrito in the refrigerator. I'm going to put it in the oven. I think I'm going to eat that. And maybe for dinner, it's so cold, I'm going to make like a chicken soup. I think I'm going to do chicken and rice. We're going to do chicken and rice and some cornbread for dinner. Yeah, I think that's it, guys. That's all I seen. So if y'all seen anything else, and just let me know before we get out of here. Hey, Bird. Hey, Linty. Sweet Vibes says she ordered pizza and pasta. I got pizza in the freezer, Sweet Vibes. I bought one of those rotating Presto pizza ovens. I got it at the Salvation Army for $5, brand new in the fucking box. Now, don't get me wrong. I used to drag Susie for her Salvation Army fashions, but I do shop at the thrift stores. I love the thrift stores, specifically for their electronics section. Like if you need a boom box or whatever with a tape player on it, then you need to take your ass to a thrift store. Don't be trying to buy one new online. You won't even find one if you go into Walmart. I don't even think they sell shit with tape players in stores anymore. So for little stuff like that, I love the thrift store. And bitch, I looked up on that rotational Presto pizza oven for $5 fucking. I got home and I eBayed that shit. That motherfucker on eBay is $78, bitch. So I lucked up with that. And I was able to get a couple of t-shirts. Because I do like their t-shirts. Sometimes they have like, little sayings and stuff on them. So I got a couple of excuse me. A couple of big oversized t-shirts with like sayings from The Office on it. Because I like The Office. And I saw a Dragon Ball Z t-shirt and I got that. They were like $3 a piece. You know what, Miss B? I saw a bunch of Brita pictures in there, but they weren't new in the box, so I didn't get them. But I'm gonna look out for a new in the box Brita picture in the thrift store. Lynn T said I'm making some crab cakes, but I don't know what else. I haven't had crab cakes in so long, Lynn T. I'd be too lazy to pick the damn crab. Because since we're at the beach, I guess I just get whole crabs now. They have canned crab, but I know how to pick the whole ones, but I'm just be too lazy for that shit. So we just steam them and eat them, or we do a boil. Sarkona said, I'm not cooking. My husband just went to White Castle. Sarkonos. I don't know if the real White Castle also has this warning, but I saw something on Instagram. It was a lady who was returning the frozen White Castle burgers that you can buy from Walmart. She was returning them, and her reasoning was because if you turn those boxes over, you look at the back on the bottom, there's a warning that says that there is some type of uh I don't want to say chemical, some type of chemical growth compound that they use in one of the ingredients, and it can cause cancer. So when I went to the grocery store the last time, I grabbed a box of White Castle and I turned that over, and sure as shit stink, there's a warning on the bottom, on the back of the White Castle box that says the shit can cause cancer. So I don't know if they use different ingredients in the frozen ones. I love that show, how it's made, and I could have swore I saw an episode on White Castle, and they literally just cook them the same way they cook them in the restaurant, same ingredients, same meat, same everything, and they send them through the little packaging machine, and then they flash freeze them. So if the ones in the box can cause cancer, I'm wondering if the fresh ones from the restaurant, can fucking cause cancer too. That's very upsetting because I really like White Castle. And I really like Crystals too. Crystals is like the down south version of White Castle because we don't have them down south. But they don't sell the little crystal burgers in the freezer aisle. So I don't know. I don't know. It's very upsetting. It's very upsetting. Brooklyn Star said, I eat them frozen ones. If that's the case, everybody up north dead. Brooklyn Star, I've been eating them frozen ones for fucking years. And, I look on the back for calorie counts and, portion sizes and all that shit. But I never really scrolled down to the bottom to see the shit about the cancer, bitch. Yeah, so next time y'all see them White Castles, just flip that box over and read it for yourself and make an educated decision on if it's worth it or not. Now, I ain't saying I ain't never gonna buy another box. I'm just saying when I saw the shit for myself, I put it the fuck back. Yes, sweet vibes. I agree. White Castle is better than Crystals, but I'm wondering is Crystals on that bullshit too? And they didn't even tell us which fucking ingredient it was that caused the cancer. They said one of the ingredients. So it could be anything. Bitch, it could be the whole meat patty. Yes, Miss B, you just bust open a little plastic bag, just a little bit, and you microwave them for a minute. I like to microwave them for 30 seconds and then just let it sit in the microwave for about a minute, and then I microwave them for another 30 seconds or 45 seconds. I also open mine up and put a little piece of cheese. If you take a regular piece of cheese and you split that bitch up into like four little squares, they fit perfect on the burger. Oh, it's the plastic? Oh, Miss B say that's why it's the plastic. Oh, but they didn't say it was the plastic. They said an ingredient in the burger, in the food. They just need to make it more clear what the situation is behind that. They just need to make it more clear because if it's something, if they explain it, I'm sure a lot of people will take the explanation and be like, "Oh, okay, well, fuck it, I'm gonna eat them anyway." For example, I smoke fucking cigarettes. There is a cancer warning on the side of my cigarettes, but because they've made it clear, because I understand what the situation is, I've made a decision that fuck it, I'm gonna smoke anyway because I don't know which ingredient is tainted. It's a little nerve wracking. Yeah, Betty, I heard that. They said the bottled water was dangerous because of the bottle, because of the plastic. But isn't there also some type of organic plastic that they're making now? I keep seeing plastic bottles with like a little plant leaf on it, which leads me to believe that the shit is organic plastic. I don't know. I haven't researched it. The plastic releases chemicals into the food. They also tell you to don't leave your water in the trunk or the back seat of your car. Like when you buy a bunch of gallons of water, don't leave that shit in the car, especially in the summer, because the sunlight permeates the plastic chemicals into the water. I've heard that before too. I know Brooklyn Star. But it just made me a little nervous. It made me put the damn burgers back. But like I said, y'all know I'm not a one of these days, real soon, real soon, I'm gonna be stoned in the grocery store looking for something to eat real quick. And White Castle, it will be, bitch. Cancer be damned. And I feel like as long as you're not one of those people who eats that shit exclusively, you may be okay. It's like with anything, moderation is key. Betty said, I'm not giving up on White Castles. And I'm not either, Betty, but definitely moderation is key. And with that being said, guys, I think we are done. It's been literally 59 minutes and 36 seconds. Thank y'all so much for stopping in. I hope y'all had a good time. This wasn't a really funny, laughy, haha type of live, but I just had some things I wanted to discuss and try to decipher through and break down with y'all and see if y'all were on the same page. So, if you haven't already hit the like or the dislike, please consider doing that now. And I will talk to y'all real soon. Everybody have a great day and y'all be careful out there. All right, it's your girl Tatiana Busted Down. Peace.